You're listening to The AI Moment with me, Jonathan Wagstaff.
And me, Danny Denhard. So today we're going to dive into the world of vibe coding. To some people it sounds interesting, to other people it sounds kind of scary or something equivalent of that. What Jonathan and I want to do today is just demystify it and inspire you to either take some action or talk to teams or agencies to help you speed up your journey and become more efficient. So Jonathan, what's your take on vibe coding and how are you talking it through?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. This phrase has come into the language this year, hasn't it? This idea about vibe coding. And I think what it talks about really is that you're getting AI tools to help you create something, either a little reporting mechanism or a little application, maybe a web page. But what it gives non-coders the ability to do is to go and start to create in the code space. So I think if you're like me, I mean, I was a coder going back a long time when I was first at work, but I couldn't even start now. I couldn't even begin with coding. So I really regard myself as a completely novice in that space. But you're starting with things like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, so the LLM tools. You can actually, ask them, okay, I need to just do this simple task. Can you help me code up? Or can you code up for me something that will do this? And they'll do some basic coding for you. And then you can move into some of the frameworks, some of the simple frameworks that are really good for non-technical people. So frameworks like Relay, and there's some stuff in Zapier, where what you're really doing is you're just giving it instructions over a number of lines. So for instance, if you currently have to put together a report, say you're a marketer and you have to put together a report once a week, and that report demands information from 4 or 5 different tools that you're using to be pulled together and summarized. You can use Relay or Zapier or any of the other tools like that to create a little script that does that automatically for you. So you can say, go to this tool here, log on, get this piece of data, bring it back, then go to this other tool, get data, bring back, and then put them all into this format and then email it to me. So you can create little automated scripts really that do that. So that's kind of the base level. And then you can get into more heavyweight vibe coding where you're more into the code. So tools like Replit, lots of people have heard of, Figma, lots of people have heard of. You're now into the space where novices can play a bit, but actual guys who are good coders are using some of these tools as well to do some of the structuring. And then there's a deeper level beyond that. There are tools there for people who are coders. So if you're a coder and that's your full-time job, you probably know already that there are some, Claude Code and some other big tools, Cursor and Windsurf and Codex, which are really heavyweight coding tools, again, AI driven. So there's a whole family here. And I think what I'd summarize to marketers or other people that aren't coders, salespeople, is some of these tools like Relay are really good at just developing little scripts that are effectively pseudocoding, but can really help you with your job and really simplify some things that you might have to do at the moment. What are you seeing, Dan?
Yeah, the same. I love the example of dashboards. It's something that I think if you can add the analysis on top of just reports, it becomes an actionable dashboard. So it's something that I love recommending. One of the other areas I like to say to people is if you are creating campaigns or you're looking to create prototypes really quickly, it's something I know product teams are doing a lot. I know a lot of savvy product marketeers, for instance, are building prototypes or even going that step further and building landing pages or series of different personalized landing pages through, like things like Lovable or Cursor, as you said, or Replit or Figma make. WordPress are apparently going to come out with something similar. So I know some people who are more on the SME style are going to come out with WordPress. I don't know if it's their VIP section or not, but they're going to come out with a version where you say exactly what you want in natural language. It builds it into, say, like a test environment, and then you can go off and decide to tweak some or add your own functionality or copy into it. And essentially, I think that's the future where we're going to go into. It's going to help a lot of people who are, let's call it low tech or low code confidence, can go out and really drive that forward. Whether that gives you tech debt or not, that's up for another debate. But I really like the idea of, and have done it, where I use even Claude, for instance, to create mini apps or subsections of my website where people can go on and use it as if it's a quiz or things like that. So that's how I love to try and inspire people when talking around vibe coding. Something you mentioned that I think we really should call out is it's not it's not perfect, and you still have to understand some of the back end work, and you still need to understand how servers connect, etc. So a prime example that happens all the time is people try and deploy it live, and then actually it can't trigger an email, or it can't send an SMS, or it can't add a record to your CMS, for instance, or your CRM. And what that is doing is just creating so many problems. People just don't know how to test and QA properly. So one thing I just call out is, if you get to a point and you start vibe coding, just be mindful of the back end work and what you're going to need it to do and what you want it to do, because very often it needs other tools to connect into. So Lovable and things are getting great at helping you, but you still need the infrastructure in the background to drive that. So whether that's Twilio or any of those types of things to send messages or emails, etc., just be a little bit careful. And the other thing we should call out, as you've said in previous pods, is very often it doesn't hide some of the most important information in your code. So if you're going to vibe code and you're going to try and push something out, just be mindful that sometimes your user keys or API keys and stuff like that are left in code. So people could get access to your code and to some database and backend. So just be mindful if you decide to take that route to have that as on your checklist to succeed.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're from a non-coding background and you're going to start playing with this stuff, then do simple things with it first, and do stuff that's almost private to you. So the example I gave, okay, it's helping you generate a report. The moment you're into stuff that you want to push public, then you're into all of the software testing disciplines that your organization has, and you need to put it through those. They're there for a reason. I've got to say, I've seen examples of vibe coding back who really know what they're doing, and still version 1 have big holes in it, and you have to go through the process, through the loop, and test all the different scenarios if you're going to do something that's a bit more mission critical and live. But I guess for me, the main thing with it at the moment is it's fun for people who are not coders to just have a go and find they can build some useful little tools without necessarily having to learn all about any of the big coding platforms.
A lot of them will put you in a safe environment as well. So they'll actually put you into an environment where you can't really screw up, or actually you could use it as a really small test. And I know companies that have run really small tests on random URLs with some paid traffic, just to make sure that all the guardrails are in place and there's no big pitfall. So don't feel like we're putting you off. Feel like you should be able to go out and roll stuff like this out and run paid tests to see if it can help you progress your business and jump you ahead of some of the competitors.
Yeah, my advice to anyone in business, say a marketer or a salesperson, if you got a little time, get yourself onto Relay. I think there's a version of Relay that's free. You can get yourself on there. You can build a couple of little scripts. Just have a little play with it. It'll kind of help you through it. It's kind of very good at talking you through it. It's one of the automation tools that's designed for a non-technical audience. So some of those tools, Zapier, Relay, NA10, Make, Pipedream, probably Zapier and Relay are the most non-technical. So start with one of those, have a play with it, see what you can do. Do something that's fun, and then you maybe get more confident, get happy with it.
Definitely. And we'll see you. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening today, everyone. If you liked what you heard, please give us a rating and review in any of the podcast players. We have a supporting newsletter, which is aimoment.co.uk, that comes out on Mondays and Fridays with every pod, and we dive a little bit deeper. So please subscribe there. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.